I guess John's way of dealing with anger was to live with some kind of self-sufficient dignity. And that's what the Ramones were to him, a method to do that. So he wasn't about to let anybody ruin it. So he got very threatening, And rock and roll is pretty much the whole rock and roll lifestyle. It's all the opposite of that in a way. Actually, John was probably more modern. Now everybody seems to be very corporate, or communal, or selfish, whatever. What I was thinking about, which depressed me, is about Joey. He got nothing out of being in the Ramones.
You think so?
No. I mean, what fun did he have after he got out of he was sick all the time. Then when he got out of the Ramones, he was sick. He didn't really have any girlfriends or he didn't get to do what I did. I did about anything you could do and live like I got to live all over the world. And I did some silly things, maybe, but so what, like I didn't hurt anybody. But I wish Joey could have done some sillier things too. He never got out of New York. He never seemed to get out of the East Village. And I wish he could have had something better than that, than being sick and staying in the East Village and surrounded by those creeps, his creepy friends. I knew him a long time, and pretty much we were friends because he liked to drink. I liked to do different things. I had different friends for different situations, and he was my drinking friend. And I liked Joey, because he liked the Beach Boys. And later then I became closer to him when the Glitter music was coming out. Like he would always like songs like Sugar Baby Love or whatever that nobody else knew about but me and him. Or the Wombles, Exercise is Good for You. And if Mark gives your wife or you call him a hard time, you have to say, Mark, I love you, bunny. Good bunny. That's why I got him like that with the rabbit ears and the carrots. That's how I started rapping in the rehab. Everybody called me Douglas, my real name. And then he called me Dougie Fresh. Hey, Dougie Fresh, and I'd say, who's Dougie Fresh, And they'd say, Dougie Fresh and the Fresh Crew. And this is true. What I did is pretty soon after my 2 weeks, I was rapping in there. And I had the human beatboxes, 2 guys, doing that. And I tried to make a rap act in there even. So I won't do it again. It's always like Ramones time, Even going to the dentist. My dentist can't stop. I'm worried, don't worry about the Ramones now till after we're done, And it's like that always.
Johnny Ramone, Joey Ramone, and Dee Dee Ramone. It's kind of, I often think of it like how miraculous is the Beatles were like 4 guys lying around in Liverpool after the war, and these 4 guys made such a, it seems like almost like the hand of God had to been in there and got them to meet each other. I think it's similar about the Ramones because it took a lot of intelligence to make something like that. The more I think about it, the more I'm sure that it doesn't, on paper it doesn't seem likely that you get a guy like Joey Ramone, a tall, gawky looking guy, and and someone like Dee Dee, who was hustling up the street, and then Johnny Ramone with his ruthless eye for how it had to be done. And together they made this incredible thing that influenced everybody here, there's no doubt about it. a lot of people who don't understand rock and roll can't see that, because I think it's a very deep spiritual thing, rock and roll. And some people think, well, it doesn't matter what you wear, but at the bottom of it, it's all show business in the best sense of the word. Like, if you want to get to someone's head, you've got to put on a show, and that means everything's got to be right. And Johnny Ramone is probably, I wouldn't know, but I would put money on that. He's a ruthless taskmaster, you know. I bet in the rehearsal room it was, no, you know, stop that, not that. You know, it took a lot of hard work to make that. And also they knew that they all had to look the same. I mean, that they knew it was an incredible, but that would finish off the audience. Not only was the music great, but the visuals as well. I mean, they knew that that was part of rock and roll, was because we want to see unity on the stage. You know, that takes us out of our individual sort of wandering around in life, bumping up against obstacles, or like not getting anywhere. People like to see something that's four guys. That's why groups are so powerful, or people love them so much. I think that people love them more than solo artists, maybe. The more greater people, because there's something fantastic about four people being able to weld together in that way and move forward in one direction. Because that's hard enough, you know, with two people, never mind four. And mathematically, it must be increasing the chances of arguments by millions every time you add another person to the unit. And so people like to see that, because it makes us think better of ourselves as a species. You know, I think Ramones gave the youth of the world a lot of self-respect. We learned a lot off the Ramones, how not to muck around on the stage. I mean, they are multiple things, I think, that we learned from the Ramones, but that's one. When a Ramones number started, it started there. And when it ended there. And they didn't spend hours shambling around, scratching themselves, or, you know, there's a lot of this casual behavior is considered cool now, yeah, but I wonder if it's rooted in cool, or it's rooted in just ineptitude. I think that they're getting away with it. People are giving them the benefit of the doubt, but in the punk rock days, you know, there wasn't any room for that. In fact, we can hear the Ramones coming through we're in a burned out basement, basically, in Camden Town, North London, and 2 floors above us, you can hear the influence of the Ramones, and this is 2002, just across the street.